let me ask you guys this: should money be a requirement for dating? I mean, I understand that there's a certain.
Why is that looking at me? Why is she looking at me?
I don't know.
Why is she looking at me?
Chris, why are you smiling? Okay, I understand that at this stage of our lives, let's say for instance, you were single, Jide was not in the picture at all, and Fola was not in the picture. Definitely, if we want to consider dating, it's expected that we'll go for a guy that is at least more financially buoyant than we are, or maybe at par. But let's say we're younger. Let's say, for instance, Chris, you're younger, maybe while in the university, and you're trying to toast a girl. Do you understand? Should money be a requirement for her choosing to date you?
It was a requirement back then in school. I probably still a requirement till today.
Should it be?
For me, I think it should be a mix. You know, like I said, it should be a mix. A gentleman that is opportune to her, because we could all go and say females are not equal. Opportune to her. Because females tend to give so much more of themselves in relationships.
How?
I mean, you were speaking much earlier about how much ladies tend to sacrifice even during relationship. Visit a gentleman, cook for him, you know, being able to do all the stuff. Even without having the band on yet. I would believe that any man that is what is sought as a man at that point in time that is able to should be able to reciprocate and show some form of, you know, understanding to take care of the lady's needs. But in the event, I'm also because there's so many success stories that we celebrate today where there is a particular motivational speaker in this country that we all know. And I had the opportunity of reading a story once that his wife was from a very well-to-do home, but because the parents didn't even know where they live, the wife would wake up and go back home and take a shower because she was used to the luxury, you know, the luxury. And the mother came to her, how come every time you come to the house, the first thing you want to do is take a shower? But look at today, they're well-to-do and living there. So I feel that the flip side of the coin should be being with someone who typically you know there is that potential for things to get better.
And I think I totally agree with you. But what I would say is, the question you asked was, should money be the number one requirement?
Oh, then no.
I think that the personality, the person who you are dating, should be the first consideration.
Agreed.
Money is secondary. Because money is very important. Don't get me wrong. Money is absolutely important. But what is more important is really about who you are dating.
Yeah.
So if you know that he doesn't have a lot of money, but he has the ethics, he's hardworking, then you can as well date that person. The lady can date that person.
It's just about time.
But the man should not feel obligated to always be the one bringing out money to provide for every single thing when he does not have. Now, let me explain this. It doesn't mean that at the end of the day, he's going to be the provider. That's his role.
Should not feel obligated. I'm trying to understand that.
He doesn't have the money. So he should not, at that point, begin to put himself in a depressed state because he cannot provide. He needs to understand first and foremost that he's a man. He needs to date this woman as a man. He doesn't need to control her. I'm not saying he should control her. But he needs to understand that he's a man, he's a provider. So the first thing he can do is to provide her with the things which he cannot necessarily buy with money.
Like?
Which is, first of all, affection. First of all, women want to be flattered. They need to be flattered.
Without money?
Without money. You need to tell them that she's looking beautiful. You need to be able to compliment every single aspect of her. So with those things,
like the two ladies next
yes,
yeah.
But you guys have said it.
Naturally occurring beauty. This is naturally occurring beauty.
Okay, I'll write that somewhere.
Naturally occurring beauty. This is not something that you have to, you know, force or make up.
All right.
But this is just what it is.
Is that what you do in your relationship?
No, I'm not.
You're not married?
I'm not married at this point.
Okay.
But I do provide for my girlfriend. I love my girlfriend.
Oh, so you do provide for her?
I do provide for her.
But you provide for her with money or without money?
No, but guess what? When I first of all started dating her, I didn't have the level or the amount of little money that I have now. But at that time, we were able to do things together.
Yes.
So it was not the fact that I had a lot of money that attracted her to me. It was the fact that she could see that I was the kind of person that she wanted to be.
And that when you make enough.
That she wanted to have.
And when I make enough,
she knows that I will take care of her.
But then doesn't that bring us back to the African system where people tend to complain that when we men when we end up making it, there's always a tendency that we end up edging out.
Trust me, that's another topic for another day. Yes, because we have to talk about that.
You know what?
To talk about.
Guess what? I've realized that I was listening to a certain rap. It was a certain rap mogul recently, and he was saying that you cannot keep talking international to a lady, and he specifically said there's a lady that is local. Okay, so there are many times in which when you as a person realize that you are not of this standard,
your standard has grown.
You cannot afford to go for a lower standard, and if you do, you must make sure you raise that standard.
What about going for an higher standard?
You can do that, but the thing is that so far as that higher standard does not make you does not make you feel inadequate, which is one of the problems we have in most relationships.
Don't make you sacrifice a lot.
So at the end of the day, you would find out that the guy is depressed. He feels that he has to provide more than what he actually needs, and then every single thing about him is based on things that can be bought with money, and then he totally loses the perspective of the fact that a woman will always be a woman, and a woman needs to be loved. She loves more than any other person.
Okay.
But you need to reciprocate that love. You need to encourage that love. And you also need to tell her things that will grow and develop her as a person.
Can I come in from a feminine? Can I come in from a feminine angle? Okay, so when Teju talked about money, or asked if money was the primary, so my understanding of it is maybe money is not exactly what the factor is. Everyone in every relationship wants some kind of security.
Yeah.
Keyword security. Now, what I find is that a lot of people have monetized that word security. So for us, or for most people today, money is that security that we need in the relationship. However, in most cases, what I have come to find is that the most important factor, even for the person who's looking towards the pocket of the guy and looking towards what the guy would reach out for when they eventually get it, is not necessarily worried about what she's getting, but if she will continue getting it. Okay. Now, if a lot of times, even the recipient, who's the lady, doesn't always realize this until push comes to shove. Now, if I come to your house today and give me 200 naira, I get happy. I feel happy. Tomorrow I come, you give me 200 naira. I feel happy until I meet Kate, whose fiance probably gave 2,000 naira. And then I realize that 200 naira is no more secure enough. I don't feel secure enough with 200 naira. Now I need 2,000 naira. And it begins to become a problem. Now the problem there is not that you haven't given me money. You have given me 200 naira. But the problem is you haven't given me as much sense of security as Kate's fiance or boyfriend has, right? So, yeah.
What I would say is the fact that she's giving him 2,000 naira. It's not necessarily the fact that she's giving him 2,000 naira. It's the fact that she values him as being worth 2,000 naira.
Okay.
In the sense that, so if the person who is giving him, who is giving the girlfriend 200 naira, if she believes that at some point, that very soon, this guy is going to be able to give me 2,000 naira, she will stay, and that's what happens.
Now, that's the sense of security. Now, if I feel secure enough at the 200 naira point, that means that beyond just the monetary value of 200 naira, there's another sense of security I have, and that's the potential that I see in this guy. At the end of the day, it boils down to the sense of security that we feel. Every woman wants to be flattered. But if you flatter a woman and they don't feel secure around you as a man, and
Agreed.
I mean, the flattery can only last so long.
It's probably in a Gucci store.
Exactly. I mean,
So you went into the West End and you will see your flatter will
the flattery can only last so long.
It doesn't still change the basic fact. I mean, we will say women are from some planet, women are from another planet. But I always think there's always an underlying meeting point, a consensus.
I agree.
Of where all of this meets. which is you should be able to try your best at that point in time. And if you're really in love with somebody, or you're with somebody who clearly wants to be with you for the long run, not for the short, we're talking about long relationships, probably not to marriage, not just the quick Uber kind of relationships that we have nowadays, which is a quick pay and go, but something that's more long term. So you would have women who, if they believe they have a long term interest and a long term prospect and a long term investment in your life, they will stick. Hopefully, with that, like you said, it's almost like a gamble that things do pan out.
Hopefully, you don't kick them out. When things pan out right, yeah?
Now, let me go back to your question, or what you said, that when a man attains a certain level, he has to try and bring his woman up. In a situation where
why did you leave her there to
the woman, no, it's possible.
No,
like
no,
there was
a
a social media post of a guy who was working who found a job in an oil and gas company. He was managing with his girlfriend, and after that he dumped her. So there were some questions.
I've seen that happen a lot.
So it happens a lot where you stepped up, you started hanging out.
Money tends to amplify things a lot.
Yes. So is it just at what point would you say you've tried enough? You have a girl, maybe you were staying in Yamikpaja or somewhere, and you moved to Banana Island, and your partner still has that mentality. Mentality. But you stepped up. At what point would you say you've stopped? You're going to stop trying? Because I mean, it's actually
the word is trying. Question is, do they try?
No,
so at what point do you try, and at what point do you give up?
No, I think that, in my opinion, if you understand where most people need to understand where their wives are coming from. Okay, so you need to provide her with something that is way different from where she's coming from. So, for example, if I want to be talking Harvard, I want to be talking like at a very high level, I'm not going to keep her in Banana Island and hope that she's going to change. I'm probably going to send her to go to probably a finishing school or wherever. Just to boost that confidence in her, to be able to be certain of what she's doing.
Yeah.
All humans are trainable. And we need to understand that to get to a certain point, you have to invest.
Do we think it's one of the reasons why the blue bloods, the royals, for instance, tend not to marry outside
can I explain something?
Because
can I explain something? When you're talking about blue bloods, we're talking about certain royal families in certain. Those are very restrictive areas. But you'll find out that when you move outside it, when you look at people who are rich, not necessarily royal blood, who are rich, most of the time you will find out that the people they marry usually don't match.
Do we think so?
Many cases.
Because there's so many, because there's so many examples of those that are even well-to-do in our country here. When you pop open the pages of most soft sales and most magazines or most weddings, you would hardly find.
No, I mean realistically, you can't even marry.
Exactly, you will find their words marrying those that are light years away.
Exactly.
From,
I mean,
they're always going to get married to those.
Exactly.
Because they believe strongly. Because they believe strongly.
We need to understand something, that there is also the cultural dimension to it. So there are certain cultures in which, if you are very rich, your children cannot even play with. I'm talking about,
but not necessarily. If you send your child to school, right? Or you send your child after she's clocked 18,
I don't want to be.
Or she's clocked 19.
Go cultural here.
See, she's going to end up going to school or college and meet diverse
kind of
range
people.
of people. Yeah. She's going to meet someone who his father, his entire life, has hustled and worked his way and saved every dime to get him into that top school.
Well, it depends on what school.
I'm saying even the top schools. If you look at even the Ivy League schools, you're not going to find the children of billionaires. You're going to find people from diverse backgrounds who had literally nothing. All they just had was hard work. I'm going to go there. Scholarships. Now they get to such a school. You end up seeing beautiful Chidima across. Chidima is the daughter of the old magnate of wherever. Yeah. And your father, and your father on the other side, the whole village are done contribution. And you are working at Burger King and McDonald's.
Well, guess what?
And at the end of the day, Chidima falls in love with you. Yeah. Now you can see there's already
Chidima doesn't introduce you to her oil magnet father.
No, she can't.
Until
No.
Until after graduation. So that there's enough time for her.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, you have all buttressed the point.